Good evening, everyone. Welcome into Vol Society Live on this Super Tuesday night. We're so glad you made the choice to join us tonight on Vol Society Live. My name is David Morrison from the Vol Society. I'm the lead analyst. And we got a lot to talk about tonight. Obviously, we are in officially March. It means March Madness is just around the corner. We'll be talking a lot about Tennessee basketball tonight, but you know, we want to hear from you tonight. We got a lot of viewers tuning in right now. The chat room is open all across our social media platforms. Leave your comments, your questions, your thoughts. This is a big time for Tennessee men's basketball as we're recording tonight. The Tennessee Volunteers are first place in the SEC standings with a 13-3 SEC record, 23-6 overall, with 2 games to go in the regular season and 2 big ones, including tomorrow night when Tennessee pays a visit to South Carolina to take on the Gamecocks, and then Kentucky comes home, or Kentucky will come here on Saturday. So a lot to talk about. Like I said, leave your comments, your questions. I'll read them live on the air tonight. Uh, and also leave us a thumbs up on the Facebook page. I'll give you a shout out that way, too. Like I said, this is your show just as much as it is the Vol Society show, if you will. Um, and I'll read that along the way. In the meantime, like I said, Tennessee gets ready to take on South Carolina coming up tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. I believe it's on ESPN2, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, just kind of this will be the second time Tennessee will take on South Carolina this season. The last time they met was, unfortunately, a Vols loss on January the 30th. It was a 63-59 win for South Carolina. And if kind of refreshing your memory of that game, that was not a good game for us, obviously. Dalton Knecht ended up going for 31 points in that game, but that was that weird game where James was off the whole game. Adu was 2 for 8 in that game. Ziegler couldn't hit a shot in that game. I totally forgot Vescovi had 10 points in that game, but he did. But it was just a kind of a just a very kind of a flat performance the last time Tennessee played South Carolina, and it was a home game. This so far it's our only home loss of the year. So big time matchup coming up tomorrow night. Since he takes on South Carolina, you know, and to be honest with you, I'm a little teeny bit nervous about this game. I'm not like saying it's going to be a loss. I'm just saying just a teeny bit nervous because you're coming off this big emotional win this past Saturday over South Carolina over Alabama, and we'll talk about that game in just a moment. But now you're got to go to another hostile environment to South Carolina, who just picked up a win over the weekend against Florida. This is a pretty crucial game right here. Like I said, Tennessee right now in first place in the SEC. And as of right now, Alabama, the team we defeated Saturday, is now trailing to Florida at Florida at the half. I just kind of glanced at the score really quick, saw they were down. But, so if Florida pulls out the win, that does give a cushion between us and Alabama. But now that kind of jumps South Carolina into the fold a little bit. But let's go ahead and kind of preview this game tomorrow night, and then we'll backtrack to last Saturday. Like I said, this will be a 7 o'clock game. It is on ESPN2. Michi Johnson leads the team for South Carolina, averaging 14 a game. South Carolina has had a very nice season. A lot of people picking them to finish in the bottom 4 in the SEC. They have totally overseen their expectations, and definitely a tournament team. They end up picking up a win against a ranked Florida team last Saturday, and now with 2 games to go, they have their senior day coming up tomorrow against us before they take on Mississippi State the following Saturday. And right now, South Carolina is in tied for second place with Alabama, and if Bama does fall tonight, then that will put them will be a half a game behind us for first place. So big time matchup right here tomorrow night. Should be very interesting to see what happens in that one. But yeah, uh, kind of a like I said, just a little bit of anxiety about tomorrow night, but hopefully I feel pretty good about it. Like I said, what do y'all think about it? Uh, leave your comments and your questions about it. Uh, let's go back to last Saturday. So, like I said, kind of backtracking a little bit, but it's all good. Tennessee won last Saturday against Alabama, 81-74. I thought Tennessee right out of the gate, even just kind of watching their facial expressions and their body language. I know it's kind of weird to say, but it felt like they felt very confident going on the road and playing at Alabama. I was a little worried, how would they react, especially the first 5 minutes of the game. But I thought Tennessee handled it very well. Um, even though towards the end of the first half, Alabama went on that 12-0 run and got right back in the game. And it was just a back and forth game for the most part. I thought the first half, the officiating was very favorable for us, whether it's good or bad. I thought they were very favorable for us being the road team. Um, but I thought for the most part, everybody played very well. Even with Dalton Knecht, I guess you could say having a semi-off night, he still ended up with 13 points. But Ziegler had a great game, finished with 18 points in that game, 5 for 18, 4 for 14 from three-point land, which it's not great, but it's not bad either. Um, Adu with 12 points, and James with 11. So I thought everybody really stepped up with Knecht being double teamed throughout the whole night. And that's what's really excites me about this team is can they continue this momentum into March Madness? Like I said, everybody knows who Dalton Knecht is at this point. I mean, he's not flying under the radar. He is right now one of the top players in college basketball, probably the most well-known player right now in college basketball. Everybody knows who he is. So teams know who they're going to guard, who they're going to double team. It's just these veterans, I want to see them continue to elevate their game not week in and week out, but game in and game out. Vescovy, James, they played a lot of basketball here. And, I'm happy that they contributed for the most part this past Saturday. Jonas Adu continued to elevate. Tobe Awaka, even though he got into foul trouble early on, but I really like how he's elevated his game too, playing a nice reserve role, coming in for Adu if he gets in foul trouble or just changing it up a little bit. I'm really liking this bench. I mean, Coach Barnes right now running 8-9 guys at this point coming off the bench. I really like just the development of the bench players and our depth going into March Madness. Like I said, Ziegler's fine, and Vescovy's great. James is great. Obviously, Dalton's great. But like Awaka, Gainey, Meshack had that huge steal in the second half that really kind of broke the game away for us. But Tennessee did for the most part a really good job. Just containing the game, even when they were behind, they never. I mean, they gave up the lead a couple times, but they never let the game really get blown way out of hand. I was very happy to see them. Just felt very confident for the most part, even through adversity, finding a way to continue to grind away and pulled out a huge win on the road. Tennessee ended up on the day shooting 36% from the field, 30% from downtown. Their free throws, if I can find it here on the stats here. There we go. 72% from the free throw line, 21 for 29. So not too bad overall. If you compare that with Alabama, uh, Alabama shot 38%, so a little bit better than us. They really struggled from 3-point land, 9 for 37. That really hurt them, and their free throw percentage was better than us. But I'm just very happy of how Tennessee handled that hostile environment. I felt like Alabama really was trying to rely a lot of that home court advantage, having game day there that morning, and you saw everybody. I think they had a wide out, looked like a wide out with the Alabama basketball jerseys. I guess that was a giveaway, the same ones they were wearing. I felt like they relied a lot on that home court advantage, and at times it can play dividends, and at times I guess it can hurt. Uh, and like I said, Tennessee just took care of business and went in there, and I was just really proud of what they can do. And like I said, now this sets up for the final two games of the regular season with South Carolina coming up on Wednesday night, and then coming up this Saturday with Kentucky for Senior Day. Which, by the way, they Dalton Knecht will be a part of uh, Senior Day ceremonies coming up on Saturday, along with Josiah Jordan James, Santiago Vescovi, and I think Colin Connors, the last senior in that one. So, kind of give you an idea if you're going up there. But kind of, we already kind of previewed South Carolina a little bit, talked about Alabama. We'll kind of jump into Kentucky really quick here. Uh, like I said, big home game coming up this Saturday. Tonio Reeves, kind of like Dalton Knecht, averaging about 20 points per game now. Dalton is getting more of the media love right now compared to Reeves, but Reeves is really good. Rob Dillingham, they saw a story on him today where he was originally supposed to go to NC State, but then decommitted, opened his enrollment back up. Kentucky was in his Final Four and ended up picking Kentucky, and he's probably, in my opinion, I mean, Reeves is good, but probably their most consistent player on that team. Reed Shepherd, young freshman, just getting a lot more touches with the ball, lot more confidence in his play. He's the or the assist leader, if you will. And then Trey Mitchell, their leading rebounder. So a very talented Kentucky team. Uh, I feel confident we can match up well with them. Obviously, we did match up well with them. We ended up getting a win at Rupp Arena, 2-3 weeks ago. Um, but it's been a little bit since Tennessee has won at home against Kentucky. Matter of fact, it may have been since 2019. I could be 100% wrong on that, but it's been a little bit since we won. Our founder Brad in the chat room says I said it's great to be a Tennessee Vol. Indeed, it is. Brad's here tonight. It's pretty awesome. Like I said, keep your comments, questions, keep them coming. Be like Brad. Hey, there we go. Now we are now flooding it here. Phil says, "Good evening, David and Brad. Revenge, baby, again. South Carolina, go Big Orange. Vols, Alabama struggling with Florida right now. I saw that before we went on the air." And then Brad says, "Breaking news: your founder Brad will be attending the game Saturday." That's awesome. So our founder Brad will be in town on Saturday for the Vols and the Wildcats. Very cool. So making that trip over from North Carolina. Very good. And by the way, while we're thinking about it, want to give a congratulations out to VFL Jawan Smith. Jawan Smith was named head coach of Catholic High School, the head basketball coach at Catholic High School in Knoxville, Tennessee today. For our Vol Society followers, we interviewed Jawan, I believe, last September. When he was being inducted into the McMinn County High School Hall of Fame. McMinn County High School is where he went to high school at, and we caught him on his Hall of Fame weekend, and he just became the assistant coach. And sometime along the season, he became the interim coach, and today was named the head coach. So, congratulations to Jawan Smith. That's been the big trending story, mainly in our area, but I guess across all nations. So, congratulations to Jawan. Give our first shout out of the night. And that is our buddy Kevin Huckaba. And he just left a thing, left a comment. Says, "What's up, guys? Go Vols." What's up, Kevin? And Brad, I should have read his. Who's going to the game Saturday? I'll be there. So if you're going to the Tennessee-Kentucky game on Saturday, our founder Brad will be roaming around. I'm sure he'll bring us some Vol Society content there. And shout out to my dad, left a like on the Facebook page. Now we're getting the chats going in here. We about preview the whole show right here. I'm glad. Continue this. Continue to leave it your comments, your questions in the chat room tonight. We got a great viewership. Because I'm about to end it right there. No, just kidding. Yeah, big week. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of anticipation about this final two games, especially tomorrow night. And yeah, big time week. Elijah watching us tonight on Facebook says, ready for revenge tomorrow night. Yeah, indeed. Uh, big time matchup here tomorrow night with South Carolina. Like I said, Tennessee going back to January the 30th had a flat performance against the Gamecocks. Even though Dalton Knecht went for 31, but we ended up scoring like 53 in that whole game. So I want to see Tennessee come out focused like they did against Alabama this past Saturday, and I think we shall be good. Brad said Dalton is going to go off tomorrow. Believe he could. I believe he will. Believe he will. Obviously, they're going to be double teaming him, but right now Dalton Knecht is averaging 20.6 points per game, shooting 47%. Field goal percentage is 47%. 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Blah blah blah, all that stuff. A couple more shout outs here. Shout out to Elijah and Scott leaving us a like on the Facebook page. Kevin says basketball has been fun to watch this year. It has been. It's been a and kind of thinking about this, Kevin, like going back to the beginning of the season. I remember reading about Dalton Knecht and kind of hearing his name float around the summer league. Like, wow, this Dalton Knecht guy, he's really doing a great job. I think they're playing I can't remember who they're playing. Israel, like one of the Israel teams, it was Italy team. Excuse me. I remember when back in the summer hearing about Dalton Knecht. I remember even like going to the dentist, and my dental hygienist, who is a big ball fan, she's like, "Do you know anything about this Dalton Knecht kid?" And I'm like, "I just heard that he had this great showing in Italy, but I don't know much about him." This is before the season started, and now here we are in March, and he's the hottest thing in college basketball. It's quite amazing just to see his progression, and and I was excited even back at the beginning of the year, just having James back and Vescovy back, and Adu to stepping up, and okay, maybe this Dalton Knecht kid can kind of fit into a role somewhere, but it's been amazing to see. Phil said Dalton's going off Saturday too. It's Kentucky. Brad says it's been amazing, and he continues on, says, I have a feeling the Vols will be in Charlotte with an attorney who is going with me. I would love for Tennessee to get into the tournament and be in Charlotte, because actually I have March Madness off for my at work, so who knows? And Brad continues on. Dalton is a special guy. Just amazing that. And for those who don't know, like I said, Dalton Knecht, transfer portal player. I guess we kind of heard the story. Started at the junior college level. Transferred to Northern Colorado. Was on a Northern Colorado team that was kind of middle of the road in the Big Sky, but he led the Big Sky in scoring, which comes at no surprise. They didn't make the tournament and hit the transfer portal, and now he's at Tennessee. So it's pretty good. Brad said, let's go. Yep. Be kind of cool to go to Charlotte for the tournament. But anyways. So yeah, it's just been amazing what he's done. Kind of look at some other stuff here. See, let's get a scoreboard update here with Florida and Bama here really quick. Continue leave your comments and your questions along the way here. Let's see. Right now, Florida is leading Alabama 57-44, 15-49 here in the second half. So, yeah, that really helps us out. But that also kind of, scares me with South Carolina a little bit. Okay, maybe not scares me, but very, very interesting. Yeah, like I said, got tomorrow night with South Carolina. You got Kentucky on Saturday. Then the following week, SEC tournament in Nashville. obviously Tennessee will get a double bye in the SEC tournament, so we won't have to play till Friday. Right now, the top 4 teams that get the double bye: Tennessee, Alabama, South Carolina, Kentucky. As of right now, Auburn is right now the 5th seed. Florida the 6th. Mississippi State the 7th. LSU is the 8th seed, and they would play Ole Miss in the, let's see, I believe it would be the first game Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. And then the Final Four teams, if you will. Well, I should go ahead and say Texas A&M's a 10, so the 7 and the 10 plays each other, and that will be Mississippi State, Texas A&M. 8, 9 plays each other. The 5 and the 6 gets a single bye, and they would meet the teams that play Wednesday night, the 11 through 14 group. So if I'm doing this off the top of my head and looking at the standings, that Wednesday night, if the season ended today, the Wednesday night game would be Georgia, Missouri, and Arkansas and Vanderbilt. And I believe the winner of Arkansas Vanderbilt would meet Florida, and then Georgia Mizzou would meet Mississippi State, if I'm looking at correctly. No, I'm sorry. Georgia Missouri would meet Auburn. Arkansas Vanderbilt meets Florida. I hope I got that right. I know, clear as mud. So I was trying to remember how they did it in years past. I just know that we won't play till Friday, and if we get the number 1 seed, I believe we would be maybe the first game that Friday afternoon, if I'm not mistaken. So, shout out to Brad Levis, a love on the Facebook page. So, hopefully that's clear as mud. Lady Vols, they're playing in the SEC tournament. They won't play till Thursday afternoon, and they get the winner of Georgia, Kentucky. So, there you go on that. That the SEC women's tournament's in Greenville this weekend, and that starts tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow morning. The first 4 in that one, but we're kind of talking about the men's basketball team this year more than the Lady Vols. Brad says, "Is it time for Kelly to go?" Ooh. I'll say this: if somehow Tennessee doesn't, I think the Lady Vols will make it into this tournament, into the NCAA tournament. But I believe the first year that they don't make it, if it's next year, I think it's time to make the change. Brad says that she can't recruit. Yeah. True to a certain degree. But, I think also you do rely on the transfer portal a little bit more. So, not saying recruiting is you shouldn't use. It's still important, but, you got to find that good blend. And I think she's got way too much talent to have, 11 losses, 12 losses so far. And I'm also, if Tennessee does make the change, and I know a lot of Lady Vol fans will probably not like to me say this. If you do make a change, I believe you need to go outside the Pat Summit bubble. We probably don't need to rely on ex-Lady Vol players. Even though I love our ex-Lady Vol players and I love what Pat Summit has done for not only Lady Vols basketball, but for women's basketball, sometimes the best change is outside help. We've seen it with football before, kind of breaking out of the Phil Fulmer buddy system. We relied on Josh Heupel. Look what it's done for us. We've done it with men's basketball with Rick Barnes and even Bruce Pearl going back further. I think probably you need to look outside of the Pat Summit bubble, even though the Pat Summit has a lot of connections and inspirations. There's nothing wrong with it being inspired by her. But I think if you hire like a Cara Lawson from Duke, it's going to be the same thing as Holly Warlick and Kelly Harper. It's like, is she Pat? Is she Pat? No, she's not. So I think you probably need to go outside of the Pat Summit bubble if you're going to go down that route. That's what I would think. Okay. Continuing on, Kevin says they're hard to watch sometimes. Yeah. And it's so sad because I like this team. It's just not it's just not coached well. Let's see. Kind of read a couple more of these. Phil says Tennessee needs Don Staley from South Carolina. That'd be great. And I believe they can afford her. Not be. I mean, it's just a matter of time. It's a matter if she wants to leave Columbia and go to Knoxville. I think they can afford it. They got the money. Um, Brad says so. Men's basketball is great. Will baseball be great? I think they will. I think so. We haven't really talked too much about the men's baseball team this year. Although we do have that Monday morning, although I posted the Sunday night, kind of the weekend recap. They're doing great so far. Blake Burke is having a monster season so far. Now, granted, we haven't played anybody significantly big, maybe like Oklahoma, I guess, and Baylor to a certain degree, but not anybody really in the top 25 per se. But Blake Burke's having a great season so far. Billy Amick, who came over from Clemson, he was an all ACC player and like an honorable mention All American. Transferred into Tennessee, plays third base. Uh, he's doing a good job. Drew Beam having a pretty solid season for the most part, although he did take that loss in the that Texas tournament we played in, but still doing fairly well. I think this can be a great baseball season too. I think Tony V's got a really solid team that can go back to Omaha, and like I said, SEC baseball is like SEC football. There's a lot of teams loaded year in and year out. Florida's going to be the favorite to probably win the SEC. LSU had that trio of great players. Well, now they're off to Major League Baseball, but they're still going to be solid. But Tennessee's going to be right in the thick of things, in my opinion, and should be a great baseball season. And I guess once March Madness really slows down, we'll get into more of that. Brad says, isn't it great to have good teams? Makes all these months fun for Vol fans. Then football will be back soon enough. Yeah, I mean, it's great too. It actually helps us here at Vol Society, having your three money sports, producing good, great quality teams because, we get to talk about them. I mean, you know, three solid football seasons, and basketball's been consistent last few years, and baseball's been great. So I mean, it really makes the calendar year and the months great. Like Brad says, softball is fun to watch. Lady Vols, having a pretty good year so far, and even with doing Vol Society, kind of looking at some of the other sports with golf and track and tennis, like, man, they're just they're pretty solid too. Even though I am not follow their programs as much as the big three, but still, it's just great to see an athletic department running very well with everything right now. Brad says we passed 45,000 followers this week, so thank you very much for that, for doing that. So Phil says Florida's leading Alabama 63-48 right now. Thank you, Phil. Hello to my grandparents watching along. And Kevin says, yep, everything volleyball and swimming and golf. Yeah, and volleyball. We haven't really talked much about volleyball, but Eve Rackman, as soon as I said her name, I forgot what her married name is. Volleyball coach. She took the Lady Vols volleyball team to the Sweet 16 for the first time in many years. So they're doing good. Swimming team. I know since I've joined Vol Society, I know the swimming team's won an SEC title. Golf is doing okay. I hadn't checked on how they did in Cabo, Mexico. Brad says Tennessee is rocking it all around. Indeed they are. Let's see. Shout out to Joey, Misty, leaving us a like on the Facebook page, and Tracy. So got those shout outs in really quick. Like I said, simple to do. Leave a like on the Facebook page, you get a shout out. Like or love or any reaction. And like I said, the comments and questions always. Any others? As far as Fast Break Friday goes, we got one. Actually, we got two more episodes of Fast Break Friday. We got the last week of the regular season, and then we'll have the conference tournament episode, and then we'll be in the March Madness. Brad says, "Come find me Saturday at the game for a picture on Vol Society and a shout out." So there you go. So find Mr. Brad. I have to probably upload your picture so people can find. Well, I guess you'll do some videos for us. Uh, I think people know who you are, especially following the podcast. I actually had somebody last week ask about if we had a podcast, so I told them about the football one, which right now is all we got. But it's all good. Man, we got wow, we got 9 viewers on Twitter and 9 on Facebook, so we split right down the middle. Awesome. Thank you guys. Yeah, so pretty big week coming up. Like I said, 2 more big basketball games. Brad said the podcast will be back. Awesome. That'll be season 3 of Good Old Rocky Talk with Brad, myself, and David Dees. Dees is a busy man also, kind of like Brad. Yeah, so we got a couple of big games coming up this week. Lady Vols in Greenville for the SEC Women's Basketball Tournament. Baseball team right now is playing Kansas State. Last I checked, they were up. They play Kansas State tonight. First time this season they broke out the dark mode uniforms. They get Kansas State tonight, and then Southern Indiana, I believe, is tomorrow night, if I'm not mistaken. There, and I believe I may be 100% wrong. I know Illinois is they're supposed to do a weekend series with Illinois. I don't know if it's this weekend or it's the next weekend. Obviously, you can check that out. Lady Vols are in Clemson today. Played softball too. I saw Wheels uploaded that. Kevin says, "Yep, listen to all the podcasts. Love them." Thank you, Kevin. Brad says, "Will we win tomorrow, David?" I think we will win tomorrow. I could see Tennessee maybe starting a little slow, just kind of still riding the momentum from that Alabama game. But I think Dalton Knecht and crew will pull it out. As far as the score goes, I will go Tennessee 81, South Carolina 74. 81-74. That's what I will go tomorrow night. And Bryce says, going to be a tough one. I think we can get it done this time. I think so too. You got to get this win. You can't get swept by South Carolina this year. I mean, we let that one go at home, and man, I really wish we had that one back. But hey, get it. That's a good thing about basketball. You know, you don't have to wait a year sometimes to get that revenge win. You sometimes get it. Phil agrees with Brad, and Brad says we have to get it. Yeah, got to get this win tomorrow night. And I feel even confident about playing Kentucky on Saturday. I mean, it's crazy to think, looking at those last 4 games, I'm thinking, man, if we can go 3-1, somehow split the SEC regular season championship, hey, I'll take that every day, twice on Sundays. But man, you have a chance to win out, and you're really going to ride momentum into March Madness, especially going into Nashville. Kevin says 76-64, go Vols. Brad says tomorrow is huge. Let's get it, boys. Let's get it indeed. 168, 174 Vols. What do you got? NBA All-Stars playing in that game tomorrow? It's like the All-Star game in Vegas or wherever they're at. It was like 211 or whatever. Crazy. Excuse me. Phil says, I'm more scared of South Carolina than I am Kentucky. And I agree, Phil. That's kind of my anxiety tomorrow is just coming off that emotional win against Alabama and then going to South Carolina. I think, while I'm happy we got that win over Alabama, I'm thinking, man, if we, hindsight 2020, man, if we would have lost at Alabama, I would feel more confident of getting the revenge, and I think we will. But yeah, it's going to be a big time matchup tomorrow night. Yeah, should be a lot of fun. Tomorrow is huge, guys. Huge game. I wonder if they've announced who's calling the game here. I'm gonna see if they've announced who. Tip off 7 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow night. 6 o'clock for our friends in the Central Time Zone. Also, don't forget to spring forward this Sunday, uh, which I'm a huge fan of spring forward. I love sitting outside at 8:30 and it's still daylight outside. I'm a spring forward guy. I say more daylight in the nighttime. I know a lot of people don't like the being dark in the morning, but I get up for work and it's dark either. It don't matter what time of the year is. We start earlier where I'm at. So so are you a spring forward or fall person? Leave that in the comments. I'm just kidding, guys. Let's see here. Okay, Tom Hart, Jimmy Dykes are on the call tomorrow night. Going Tennessee, South Carolina. Feels like that's like the 30th game they called with us. I do like Jimmy Dykes though, and Tom Hart's all right. Kevin says yes. I wish they would just leave it that way. Yeah, I'm not a fan of going back and forth. I know some people like it. Brad is a love the dark in the winter, so Brad's more of a dark person. That's all right. I like but love light in the summer. Oh, so yeah. So Brad is going both sides. Kevin says more daylight makes for more golf. There you go. Yeah, I mean, there's just nothing like for me personally, spring, summer, as long as it's not humid outside, sitting outside, having a drink, just enjoying, at 7, 8 o'clock, enjoying sunlight, enjoying the nice weather. Uh, just enjoy it. Like I said, I'm more of a warm person. I just I know for me, like you know, dark in the winter time, I'm just ready for bed at 7 o'clock. But yeah, but everybody's different. We gotta. That's pretty. I never thought we'd have a discussion on daylight savings time on Ball Society Live. But hey, this is your show. Although I think I kind of started it on that one. Um, yeah, that's awesome. Oh, okay. Brad says that's why I love it. Talking about dark in the winter, bedtime at 7. Let's go. That is true. And of course, you got a child too and a wife, so it's. I don't know. I guess it can. Well, I don't know if it would be easier or harder either way. I just like summer and warm weather, being outside. Anyways, Kevin says 70-53 Florida, 10:08 to go in that game. Awesome. Um, so let's say hopefully Florida can, I guess, pull it out, which that would put now Alabama 2 games back. Oh, by the way, if you care about announcers, Saturday's game will be called by, I believe it's Iron Eagle. Yeah, Iron Eagle, Bill Rafferty, Tracy Wilson will call the game Saturday for CBS. So tomorrow night ESPN2, Saturday CBS. Uh, SEC tournament will be on one of like SEC Network and ESPN. Just check your local listings and all that. Brad said Bama. Ha ha ha. And then Phil says time to mow them yards. Yeah. Be mowing season before we know it too. Here next month. And my grass is not fully green yet, but it is getting there right now. Brad said, "Did you see the video where Bama was practicing with security how to handle the storm in the court against the Vols the other night?" I did see that. That was pretty wild. It's just, yeah, and it didn't happen. Didn't happen at all. And that's the second time I've seen where an SEC school's implicated. Do not storm the court or do some sort of a practice. When was it last week? Mississippi State. Yeah, Brad said total joke. Yeah, it was Mississippi State. Like 5 minutes ago in their game against Kentucky, they put a public announcement on their jumbotron said, "Please do not storm the court after the game," and they didn't because Kentucky ended up winning on the Reed Shepherd buzzer beater. So you know, I mean, I'll say this about kind of because I hadn't really went deep into the Kyle Filipowski thing, and I know it's been a couple of weeks. I mean, my view is on court storming is, you know, if you know it's going to happen, make sure. I mean, it's funny to see what Alabama did, but if you're going to have that, make sure you do have extra security there, and make sure the other team does find a way to get off. But I think Filipowski was just kind of not aware of his surroundings and just got ran over by the Wake fans, and I know they're taking up for him. I mean, yeah, in a way, I do feel a little bad, but you got to be aware of your surroundings. So I think I don't think it was deliberate. I just think he just wasn't aware of his surroundings. I'll just leave it at that. I think the Caitlin Clark situation, like last month when they lost to Nebraska, I truly believe she was trying to get off and just ended up getting ran over. Once again, just you gotta be aware of what you're doing. You have to kind of read the room, if you will. Anyways, that's all I'll say about that. Brad said, "Can't stand Bama folks, so pitiful." Wow. Yeah, we have a lot of them. I hadn't really heard from them lately on the Facebook page, but mainly during football season, they'll pop back up. Kevin says, "I love it when Z acted like he was smoking a cigar after the made three." Yeah, he's really developed his personality this year. And I totally forgot it's already been a year since his ACL injury, and it's crazy to think that he only just missed when he tore it in March. Well, no, February of 23, and he played in November. So, yeah, I mean, basically just didn't miss too much. I mean, he did a lot of rehabbing during the off season, but you know, didn't really miss a lot of significant time during the regular season. It's just pretty wild. Brad says, "I'm so ready for madness. Love it." Yep. I think it's going to be a fun March Madness tournament coming up. Obviously, with the Vols and the position they're in right now, it's going to be very interesting to see where they're going to land. But, I really think you got some interesting teams that's going to jockey for position for a national championship. I think Houston's going to be in the mix. I had Kansas as kind of my pick, but Kansas is really have dropped in my eyes. I think UConn for Marquette from the Big East will be kind of in there. Brad says, "Would you guys like me to create a Vol Society bracket group this year?" We've done this in the past, and I know we gave away some stuff this year. Okay, yeah, winner will win a prize. Since I said that, so I think we gave away one of these hats one year or something similar. So if you're interested in that, just you know, hook us. Just say yes or something on on this video. I guess we can do that, or message us and we can kind of get something going. We've done that before where we've done a March Madness group and our bracket group and gave away like a Ball Society hat or a Ball Society water bottle or something. Well, I'm sure we'll give like the winner will get a prize. So yeah, like I said, you can compete against us too. We can't win the prize, but one of our Vol Society followers can, and you can beat us. I know I've really struggled last year, March Madness with Purdue. Kevin says, "Heck yeah!" So Kevin's in. Like I said, like just say yes or message us. You know, or put well, I'm interested something, and we can kind of get an idea. So if Kevin says yes, so boom, we are doing it. We are doing it. Awesome. Taking care of new business. It's like a business meeting in here. Let's see here. Shout out to James leaving us a like on the Facebook page. And Hunter D's leaving us a like. Hunter is the brother of David D's from Fall Society. Shout out to Hunter. We haven't seen Hunter. I hadn't got to see Hunter since the Virginia game, so hopefully he's doing well. I'm assuming he is. Oh, birthday boy Hunter. So happy birthday, Hunter. Nice. I still think Hunter is like, 7, 8 years old instead of an adult. I guess we're young in heart. That's so crazy. So, and also Pastor Scott, one of our Fall Society followers, it's his birthday tomorrow. So happy birthday to Pastor Scott. Brad says he's my financial advisor. Kevin says my wife asked why I listen to y'all, and I said it's because they're fans like me. Appreciate it, Kevin. That's awesome, buddy. Yeah, I mean we're like I said, we're just normal dudes too. I mean, there's uh like I said, we all three of us kind of come from a little bit of different walks of life, a little bit. But we all have a common agreement in Tennessee athletics, Tennessee football, basketball, everything. Connection's unstable. There we go. Now Wi-Fi's cutting back in. I guess there is. So where I'm at, I don't have great cell service where my 9 to 5 is. So I heard the phones were kind of messed up in the Chattanooga area today. Uh, so my Wi-Fi kind of went haywire there for a second. Hopefully that's okay. So kind of I heard that was a big thing today. I'm in a big metal building. Okay, Brad says got you loud and clear. Good. I have a thing on my side where it has a Wi-Fi bar and it just went to nothing. I thought that's what it was doing. So I guess we're good now. Okay, Kevin said Facebook was down this morning. Okay, so of course, like I said, I'm in a big metal building where I'm at, so everything just kind of just dies where it comes to where I'm at. I get a little bit of service where I'm at, but it's very spotty. So, uh, Phil says, I know what you're going through. Don't have good cell phone service. Okay. Yeah. I know like a couple days YouTube's been kind of buffering, like try to watch videos and stuff. So kind of haywire, if you will. But seems like we're all good on my end. Hopefully so. Let's see here. Still got some great viewership on. Shout out to our viewers watching us on Twitter or X. Shout out to you folks and the Facebook page and YouTube. So awesome. Any other questions or comments? We're doing good so far, especially on election day for the most part, somewhat of election day. Brad says I'll do some content Saturday. Okay, fellas. Yeah. So like I said, Brad's going to be at the Tennessee Kentucky game, so he'll be on his end. Hopefully, bring some stuff. Last time Vol Society was at a basketball game was yours truly. I went to the Tennessee Illinois game. I guess it was early December. So, second basketball game Vol Society will be a part of this season. I think we were at every football game last year except for Georgia. because that was a little too high on our asking price to go. So, like I said, we as far as like content goes, anytime we go to a game, we try to uh, bring content as far as football. Obviously, football we're about there every game, and basketball is just kind of sporadically. One of us can get up there and do some content, and baseball same way. Um, oh, speaking of Kentucky, I never got to tell this story. I meant to tell this on the football podcast when we played Kentucky, and I keep neglecting it. Brad said I plan on streaking during the game wearing a Vol Society thong. Brad wearing this. Oh my! Wow. All right, I'm gonna tell my story because that was just a scary thought. So anyway, so I forgot to mention this back during football season, and we're playing Kentucky on Saturday, so this will be an appropriate time to tell the story. So last summer, I went to see Breaking Benjamin in Knoxville. This is back in June. They were in town with Bush and a band called what was their name? Uh, Above All Else or something like that. Anyway, that was a little opening band. So Breaking Benjamin and Bush, they did a good job. But this opening band, this was the last night of the tour, and Knoxville was the host site. So this opening band, probably young rock band, probably in their 20s. They probably been tired of the tour, and I think they were maybe on to something throughout the whole night. So throughout the whole show, they're mentioning Tennessee, like, come on, Tennessee, and let's hear you sing this song, even though I never heard of this song and or heard of the band or any of their songs, and neither was the audience. But anyway, so right at the end of their set, they're saying, we appreciate you guys. We thank you. Come see us. We're hanging out at the Breaking Benjamin tent, blah, 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 blah. You guys were awesome. Good night, Kentucky, in Knoxville. And they got booed in the arena badly. So so it was and they're oh, we apologize. It's just been a long tour. So yeah, they totally fell flat after that performance. So yeah. Thankfully Breaking Benjamin was somewhat better. Right, said what a disgrace. Yeah. Yeah, they were pretty bad. Let's see. Actually, it was called Another Day Dawns, not Above All Else. Another Day Dawns. That was the name of the band. Uh, I remember that. Yeah, Another Day Dawns. That's the name of the band that said Goodnight Kentucky instead of Goodnight Knoxville or Tennessee. Yeah. So if you're a fan of that band, I apologize. I thought they sucked. But Bush had a better set than Breaking Benjamin that night. Uh, Benjamin, who's the lead singer of that band, he had laryngitis throughout the whole show, I guess from screaming uh, throughout the whole tour. So he had laryngitis, but he managed to belt something out. Uh, Brad said, new band name, Another Day We Suck. Yeah, pretty much. They were not that good. And as far as like rock bands go, I like those type of bands. I'm not a big screamo rock or big metal fan. So like I guess you could say like that Breaking Benjamin's kind of like my good cutoff point. I gotta hear them, but I just remember that like Another Day Dawns, it was just it was just kind of that the whole time, and I couldn't really hear them. They had a sign language interpreter like right below us, so I kind of know a little sign language, so I caught a few words from that. So, but yeah, they suck. Oh, but yeah, I meant to tell that a long time ago, and it just hit me just now when Kentucky's coming into town. I meant to tell it on Fall Society, but anyways, we got that out of the way. So we talked about daylight saving times and Another Day Dawns right here on Vol Society, and we talked about basketball the first 30 minutes. Any other questions or comments? Anybody else leave? Shout out to my Uncle Tim and Judy leaving us a like on the Facebook page. Excuse me. pretty wild. I guess if we're all quiet, I guess we'll go ahead and kind of wrap it up. Fast Break Friday coming up Friday at noon with myself. Brad says, great show. Enjoy chatting with you guys again. Thank you, Brad, for coming along. Like I said, we'll have Fast Break Friday at noon. Real quick college basketball preview. Good night, Phil. Saying have a great night, David and Brad. And then we'll be back here next Tuesday night as we preview the SEC tournament in Nashville. So 3 consecutive weeks. So please join us next Tuesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Central. Like I said, we'll preview the tournament. Hopefully Tennessee will get a number 1 seed and we'll be SEC champions by this point. We'll just break down just pretty much the preview of the whole tournament. We'll preview all the teams and I'll give you my picks for that, and then we'll do a little March Madness talk. But appreciate you, Kevin. Thank you, buddy. We'll talk to y'all next Tuesday night right here on Vol Society Live. Until next time, have a great night. Enjoy daylight savings time and 2000s alternative rock music, and go Vols.